Yes, yes, yes. The South Got Something to Say podcast is live. Let's talk about it. What it do out there on Facebook world, YouTube world. Something to Say podcast is live. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell that friend. We live. We live. We live. Let's get it. Let's go. YouTube channel, posted and pinned in the comments, man. Y'all go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all got something to say. Podcast with Melbo, man. Go check it out. Man, we doing big numbers over there, man. Things are starting to look up over there, man. I would love for y'all to be a part of it. I'm telling you right now, that's what's on my mind. I'm gonna get it out. What's on your mind, said in just a second. But until then, let's go. The South Got Something to Say podcast is live. Yeah, baby. All right, what's up, Ike, baby? Get well soon, baby. Let's get it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The South Got Something to Say podcast is go. Yeah, boy, we got a good topic. We still talking about our itty bitty. You know how I am about the itty bitty. I don't play by the itty bitty. Let's get it. Let's go. What's on your mind, Sam? Hey, I know you working, man. We can talk behind the scenes, boy. Appreciate you playing. Appreciate you, Scoot. Let's get it. Let's go. Y'all got something to say. Podcast is live. Tell a friend to tell a friend that the What's on Your Mind segment is coming up in the next 30 seconds. Let's get it. Let's go. Y'all make sure y'all tune in, comment on the video. Follow me on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's run these numbers up. While we've been doing a good job running these numbers up. And we ain't stopping. And we ain't quitting. We gonna keep going. Ain't no doubt about it. Let's get it. Let's go. Yes, what's on my mind? What's on my mind? Y'all wanna know what's really been on my mind before we get into the content for the day. What's really been on my mind? What's been on my mind is y'all. My supporters, man, y'all have been more than amazing. Y'all have been more than great. I look at my YouTube channel and I see how much it's grown. I look at the Facebook, I see how much it's grown. I look on TikTok and see how much it's grown. And I would be nothing and couldn't do none of that without y'all. But as I see how much we're growing, I still see it's 70% of people who watch the video that don't subscribe. So all I'm asking you is the YouTube link is at the top in the comment section. Y'all please go subscribe to the channel. Share that so somebody can subscribe to the channel. We doing big things. We are in a great place. We just started and we're looking good. I think the last couple of videos that I had, they had over 400 views. One of them close to 500. So we ain't lacking, but we can do more. And I can make a deal with y'all right now, and I make a promise to y'all. As y'all subscribe, the content will get better. As y'all subscribe, the production will get better. I'm working. I'm literally working for y'all. I'm literally working for y'all. And as the subscribers and the monetization start coming in, we can do a lot more. We can do a lot more. Yes. But today we got a serious topic. It's the beginning of the summer break for our itty bitties. So it's some time to do some training. It's time to teach each one for the South Got Something to Say. Because when our itty bitties get back in school, each one teach one, we're going to be learning a few things over this summer break about what goes on in these schoolhouses. And my thing is that I am a very fortunate educator. See, I'm a very fortunate educator that I haven't been put in on one side of the bar. See, it's two things we deal with when we start to deal with special education and mental illness. We deal with clinical diagnosis, clinical disabilities, and we deal with school disabilities. And each one is important. Each one is important. Each one of them needs addressing. But sometimes, and that's what I say, sometimes, and them sometimes matter. Sometimes we over-categorize. What to do, bro? You know, we over-represent. See, in poverty-stricken communities, it's easy to over-represent in the special education field when we don't know what's really going on. See, it's easy to misrepresent or over-represent in this special education field. And it's got a lot to do with us. So we got to understand now, it's getting this serious. It's getting this serious that we literally got to understand the difference between clinical diagnosis and school diagnosis, because some of our clinical diagnosis is starting to bleed over into the school. Now, when it needs to. But at this point, it's getting to the point where we're labeling our children and we're categorizing our children for life. So today we're going to go through some of the school disabilities, the special education disabilities. See, when we start talking about ADHD, opposition defiant disorder, and a lot of any behavior or conduct behavior, all of that is clinical, other than emotional disturbance. But we're going to talk about it. But see, we are letting our kids be represented in this special education field. We're drawing up IEPs for our kids for stuff that we can handle at home. We're drawing up IEPs because, and I want to say it like this, but I got to say it like this, because we're becoming lazy as parents. We're becoming lazy as teachers. We're becoming lazy, and ain't nobody affected but the itty bitties. Let's talk about it. We got to understand that we got to understand. I don't understand how a parent can see that their child, they can see that their child is getting an IEP going through me, and you give your child is diagnosed and placed in special education, and you don't check up on them no more. See, the only thing worse than not having a parent is having a lazy parent. Let's talk about it. The only thing worse than not having a teacher is having a lazy teacher. The only thing worse than not having an administration is have a lazy administration. See, a lot of our children are being left by the wayside in poverty-stricken communities because we are lazy across the board. And I am overly qualified because I deal with the clinical side and I deal with the school side. I went and worked to get my master's in special education. So I understand all of these 13 disabilities. I understand them all. I had to learn them all. And what I did while I was learning, I figured out while I was learning them, that a lot of us, we are over-categorizing these babies. We misrepresent these babies because we are lazy. Not only is the parents lazy, the teachers lazy. Let's talk about it. You know, sometimes you got to get out here and say what the facts is. So as we get in this content, this is going to be a very deep and real conversation. And some folks ain't going to want to hear it. But the South got something to say about it, because these is our itty bitties. This is our itty bitties we running into the future. This is our itty bitties that we are labeling. This is our itty bitties that we miscategorizing, and our itty bitties gonna be scarred for life with some of these categorizations we get. ADHD is not a school diagnosis. It's only one way your child got an IEP for ADHD. If you done went up there and told them, we're gonna go through ADHD and we're gonna see how much ADHD is really playing a role in our school and how much of it is triflingness and laziness. Let's talk about it. And I'm not talking about the parents, I'm talking about the whole system. I'm not talking about the teachers, I'm talking about the whole system, how they categorize us. They take normal symptoms, normal things that boys do, they put it in a definition, give it a name, and medicate our babies. Let's talk about it. See, I've got something to say. Podcast is live with a very important subject, a very important topic. I ain't telling you nothing I just ran up on. I've been watching it and learning this stuff. I deal with this every day. I sit down with a psychiatrist every 2 weeks to talk about babies. I talk about itty bitties with a psychiatrist every 2 weeks. Not only do I do that, I hold IEP meetings, so I know what I'm talking about. This is not coming from a place that I don't know. I'm not speculating. I'm not guessing. What I'm telling you is facts. It is 13 special education disabilities that we need to be focusing on. See, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, all of that we talked about last week, them ain't special education diagnoses. Now, do they affect the kids in school? No doubt about it. But we're talking about affecting their learning. When you start talking about ADHD, and when a child needs medicine for ADHD, Lord knows I'm the biggest proponent of them getting their medicine. We talked about it last week. But when children doing natural children stuff, when they doing natural little boy stuff, natural little black boy stuff, and you start medicating them, we're going to talk about it. This is the day to talk about it. That type of move today. Let's get it. Let's go. I'm in that type of mood to talk about it because we got time to figure this out for our itty bitties. We got time to figure this out for our itty bitties. Our itty bitties ain't got to be the one that go through all these IEPs and standardized testing and all of this to determine whether they smart or not. We got kids right now labeled as intellectual disabled because they recently changed it from mental retardation. Let me give you the real words. Let's talk about it. They changed it from mental retardation because it sounds so harsh. Well, it is harsh. The intellectual disability. I ain't scared to talk about it. I ain't scared to talk about it. They have recently changed it. And then you know how they determine. Let's talk about how they determine whether your baby mentally retarded or not. They give them a test. They give them a test. They give them a test. And if we lazy enough, as a school, as a parent, as an administrator, if we lazy enough, and then they got 4 parts to this intelligence test. They call it the IQ test. Anybody in the comment ever heard of an IQ test? Put a thumbs up in the comment section if you heard of an IQ test. Because if your baby is 70 or below, they are labeled intellectual disability, mental retardation. But see, one thing about this test, it's 4 parts to this test. Y'all listen to me. Y'all listen to me. Especially y'all with little itty bitties. If y'all little bitties ain't starting school, K through 3rd, y'all listen. And some of y'all with older itty bitties who have been dealing with this label for y'all child, y'all listen to me carefully. It's 4 parts to this test. They got a processing speech, a working memory part, a non-verbal reasoning part. And 90% of our kids do very well on all 3 of those parts. Processing speech. You don't need nobody to teach you. You don't need nobody to teach you working memory, how your brain functions. Let's talk about it. You don't need nobody to tell you how to put things together that you ain't been taught. That's nonverbal reasoning. But this the part that we struggle on. The verbal comprehension. The verbal comprehension is the part that we struggle on. But see, the thing about this verbal comprehension, it's what you taught. So they're giving babies these tests at such young ages and telling them to pass this part, all 4 parts, and do this part and do this part, and then they'll come up with a full scale IQ. Anybody in there, some people in here know I know what I'm talking about. They give you a full scale. So if you do good on all 3 and you totally mess up the last verbal cut, kick me out. I might be talking too much. Woo! I might be talking a little too much to kick me out now. But hey, somebody got to talk about it. Why our community be the last one to get the knowledge? Y'all can hear me out there. If y'all can hear me out there, y'all somebody put a thumbs up in the section. Where my moderator at? If you can hear me out there, put a thumbs up in the section. Yes. Am I live? Okay, all right, I'm live. Y'all can hear me. Y'all got kicked out, man. I got kicked out. They probably trying to give me a little warning. Boy, you talking too much. But let's talk about it. We ain't got to, we cannot shy away from these titles that they give our babies. We cannot shy away from the titles they give our babies. And then when we were talking about the verbal comprehension, it's what you taught. So they're using all this testing. And see, that's what it kind of messed me up with the testing, because testing do not tell me that whether this can be a good student or not. Testing does not tell me is this a scholar or not. Some people ain't good at testing. Some people don't want to test. If you giving a 7-year-old child a test calling it an intelligence test, and they go mark A on everything, does that make them mentally retarded or defiant, or just don't want to take the test? Let's talk about it. But once you get that label, see, we got to stop check hunting too. We got to stop check hunting. Everything don't deserve of it. All money ain't good money. Do y'all hear me out there? All money ain't good money when it comes to our any business. So let's talk about these 13, and we'll go through a few of them. Let's talk about these 13 learning disabilities. Number 1 is learning disability. Learning disability. Okay, and it's 8 different types. It's basic reading skills. Then you got reading fluency. Then you got reading comprehension. Without one, if you missing the basic reading skill, coding, phonics, it's gonna be hard to read fluently. And if you can't read fluently, it's gonna be hard for you to comprehend. But see, we give our baby these titles. It's like a football analogy. You want your baby to get in that quarterback, but you ain't never threw a ball with your baby at home. You up there asking the coach why my child don't get in, and you ain't never pitched the ball to your child at home. You ain't bought your baby now one book, but your baby got every pair of Jordans. Come on, parents. And see, the teachers, we walking around here, the first thing we do is starting to label these kids and start trying to figure out how to get them in special education when nobody took no time and read to these children or let these children read back to them. The first step is always special education in poverty-stricken community. You will not find that nowhere else in no middle or high class community where you find special education as the first resort. Let's talk about it. Now you own it. Too busy merchandising their kids for that check. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All money ain't good money. And then you got the other type of a learning disability is called math reasoning. And that is can the child, which we don't like to think anyway. But math reasoning is Can the child look at a math problem or whatever type of math problem it is and figure out and see how it needs to be done, how it needs to be computed, how it needs to be worked out. And then you got math calculation that just can you add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Written expression, whether you can write clearly, oral expression, whether you talk clearly, you don't talk with a stutter, and a lot of them, and listening comprehension. Then the 8 type of learner disability. That's what you get IEPs for. But the easiest way to do this is to start working with your kids at home. If your kid got joints and ain't got books, y'all hear me? If your kid got cell phone time and don't have sustained silent reading time, let's talk about it. If your child got a cell phone, an iPad, a video game, a PlayStation 4, a PlayStation 5, an Xbox 360, an Xbox S, an Xbox X, if they got all that, they don't got 1 hour sustained silent reading time, you are the problem. I am the problem. If y'all teachers sending these kids at home with no homework, y'all are the problem. Ain't no way they getting it from 8 to 3 on. But a lot of times, parents, y'all just not involved enough. Because the one thing you gonna tell me, if you tell me that you put my son or my daughter on an IEP, they at a 3rd grade reading list. Y'all listen to me now. If you tell me that my son in the 6th grade and you putting him on the IEP because he's reading on the 3rd grade level, I ain't got but one question. My first question gonna be is what is the average reading grade level for every kid in that class? What is the average grade or reading grade level for everybody in that class? My next question is what is the average reading grade level for every 6th grade in your district? You ain't just gonna sing a mind out because you don't want to work with them. And I'm gonna tell you why they do that to us before we get down into this ADHD. Let me tell you why they do this to us. And I want y'all to listen and share this video because this is gonna be very important. And I want y'all to hear me. And I want y'all to hear me clear. I want y'all to hear me clear. They do it to your child because number 1, you talk too much, and number 2, you do too much on social media. Let's talk about it. Number 1, you tell all your business, and number 2, they see too much of what you're doing. I don't see no reason for friends and teachers and parents to be friends. Because if you don't think they're in that teacher lounge talking, and anybody ever worked for me a day in their life, no, I do not play by talking about these kids, especially on personal matters. If you have worked for me for 5 minutes or more, we don't play by talking about these kids, but it happens all the time. These kids' personal life is talked about all the time. Y'all hear me when I talk to you. Hear me when I tell you that we got to stop letting all our business get out. Ain't no way no school should know whether you working or not. Because let me tell you something. When they find out you don't work, when they find out you got plenty of time at home, your phone gonna ring every day for your child. When they find out that you don't work, they find out ain't no man at home, they already stereotyping your child. A lot of things need to be kept professionally done. And when you're dealing with your babies, it needs to be done professionally. I don't need no friends. I don't need you seeing what I do on Facebook. I don't need you seeing what I do on Instagram. I don't need to see need you to see what I'm doing on TikTok. I need you educating my child. And I need you to be sending me stuff at home to educate my child. And let me tell y'all something. It's just like any other legal document or anything else legally. If you ain't got it documented, it did not happen. If you ain't got it documented, it did not happen. See, a lot of times teachers and educators and administrators, they kill us with documentation. If you tell me my son on the 3rd grade read level, you need to tell me what you're doing for my son in that school. And not only give me a phone conversation. I don't want just a phone conversation. Chopping up a little bit. Not only do I not want just, I need you to put it in writing. See, it's time for us to start documenting as well. So let's talk about this ADHD. Because it's about to get serious. Let's talk about this ADHD. Because I went and pulled a definition. I went and pulled a symptom. And I really want y'all to hear this right here. Fails to give close attention to detail, have difficulty sustaining attention, does not listen when spoken to, does not follow through on instructions, have difficulties organizing tasks, reluctant to engage in sustained mental effort. Did y'all hear that? Reluctant to engage in sustained mental effort. You talking me as an administrator who took about 10 years to get through college, between the military and all of that. You got teachers who took 5-6 years to get through college, a 4 program, who took the practice 4 or 5 times to pass it, which is kudos to them. It's hard for adults to have engaged in sustained mental effort. But you literally diagnose our children. You literally diagnose our children because they are being children. You literally diagnose our children because they are being children. So when I started to do my research, which I would never come to y'all without doing no research, so I'm willing for anybody to fact check me because I did my research. When I did my research, I looked at the treatment for ADHD or any other, and we talked about that on last week. And I always encourage people, if the medicine is working and helping you, please take your medicine. But I find it very strange. How you can take medicine that you lock these people up for years. When the crack cocaine epidemic hit hard, you lock people up for years and years. Left these children in the home with no father. Sometimes no mother either because they strung out on the stuff that was brought here to us. And you tell me that you'll take that same drug and flip it around a little bit, take a molecule out here and a molecule out there, and feed these same drugs back to our children? Really, there's nothing but speed. Let's talk about it. So you would blame, you put labels on these children for being children. Now, do we have some kids with attention disorder? No doubt about it. Do some of these children need help with sustaining attention? No doubt about it. As an educator, been in the classrooms and in school for over 12 years, I'd be a fool to sit up and say it's not happening, that we don't need. But when I'm talking about when instead of making that your first option, let's see about making it our last option. The children don't have to sit down at home, but you want them to sit down and engage in a 7 or 8 hour lecture in school. They don't get to. Some of us learn by moving. Some of us learn by conversation. Some of us learn, but it's so structured to the point where you can't move in the classroom. Then you want to penalize kids that move, and most of the time it's the poverty-stricken kids. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but we got to talk about it. We got to make sure that is something naturally and really wrong with our children. Yes, it is. It's some of them, but some of us are not focused enough to check to see what's really going on. A lot of this behavior stuff can be done in-house with proper discipline. These kids get an ROTC and they're the best kids in the world because kids strive for discipline. Why in the world you think we got games? Kids love discipline. Why in the world you think we got games? Kids don't got no problem with discipline. None. The problem they have is when it's not systematically fair. And don't think that these kids don't know when it's not systematically fair. Because of their parents' socioeconomic status. That's why I'm being singled out. This is going on more in poverty-stricken communities than is going on anywhere else. And that's a problem. Go check the statistics. Most of our babies are the ones, especially our boys, are the ones who are being labeled ADHD the most. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Thank you for posting that in the comment section. Our babies are suffering with this the most. And it's a reason for that because it's systematic. The more that we can get out of the way, why you think they even came up with an SAT and an ACT? Why do you think that is needed? SAT ain't gonna tell me what I'm gonna be a good college student or not. A SAT score and an ACT score ain't gonna tell you what a child will be a good student or not. It's just another barrier that the poverty-stricken community got to get through to try to get to somewhere else. They got all kinds of roadblocks in there. All kinds of roadblocks in the way. Let's talk about it. It's all kinds of roadblocks to try to get to where we going. But I can tell you one thing, that your ACT score or SAT score ain't gonna tell whether you're gonna be a good kid or not. It ain't gonna tell you whether you're gonna be a good college student or not. Your actions and your discipline at home now tell me whether my child gonna be a good college student or not. If you barely going to school here, if you're barely doing homework here in high school, you ain't gonna do no better over there. That's my determining factor, not no ACT score. Let's talk about it. Ain't no ACT score gonna tell me whether my child can go be great in college. Some of us are fooled by them SAT scores and them ACT scores. Some of us think that we already made it because of them ACT scores and SAT scores. When the test is not preferable to me. When you asking about barns and cows and stuff, and these kids in the neighborhood, in these poverty-stricken communities, ain't never seen none of this stuff, so they can't even relate to it. They can't even relate. They can't even put their mind. They never seen a beach. Johnny had 3 beach chairs on the sand in the beach. They trying to figure out what a beach look like. What is a beach? They ain't been out the ghetto. They ain't been out the hood. But that's the type of stuff we measure whether our children got a certain amount of intelligence. That's the type of stuff we measure to see if our children got a certain type of college readiness. We got to start working with our itty bitties right now. We got to learn to turn the Wi-Fi off. If you got little itty bitties right now, it's time to learn to turn the Wi-Fi off. It's time to get more discipline and structure. I'm telling you, the kids love discipline. They love it. They strive for it. They live off of it. That's why when they ain't getting the right discipline, they go join gangs where they got to go a certain line of discipline. Y'all know I ain't lying to y'all. Start doing it at home. Your child cannot be your friend. Your child cannot be your homie. Your child cannot be your precious love bug every day. You got to love them, and sometimes you got to love them hard. Put that cell phone down, put that iPad down, open up a book. And then don't let them just grab any book. Don't let them grab a frustration book or a mastery book. Get them some information. And when I say mastery, that means that it's too easy. And when I say frustration, that means it's too hard. They need to get some information, and then when they get old enough, they need to put them Harry Potters and the Spider-Man down and have something that teaching them something. See, that's the type of stuff we got all summer to work on. Because our itty bitties got every right to be just the greatest any other itty bitties. Because I guarantee you them kids over at Morgan Academy ain't taking no ACAP. I guarantee you they don't get graded, and they say their teachers ain't doing a good job because of a grade on the standardized test. I guarantee you they're not taking no ACAP or no other type of assessments. That's why they form their own. Let's talk about it. See, a lot of times we got to understand. And it's just me. And I could be wrong on this. Like I don't understand why we have to share the diagnosis of our children with our children. I don't get it. I will never get it. If you tell a child they got a reading disability, what gonna motivate them to read? You already told me I can't do it. We let the children in on too much. If you tell the child that they got a math reasoning problem, a math calculation problem, or you know I can't do math. If you tell a child that he ADHD, what motivation do they have to sit down? Let's talk about it. Like I said, a lazy parent is just like having no parent at all. A lazy teacher is just like having no teacher at all. A lazy administrator, just like having no administrator at all. The exit exam stopped a lot of our people and forced a lot of them on the streets. Systematic. I guarantee you. Better View Christian ain't taking no exit exam. We ain't taking them now, but it did its damage. The exit exam did its damage when it did. Let's talk about it. Too much friendship and not enough parenting. Boy, you said something then. I would never understand how my child acting up in school with Jordans on their feet. That's all our children. Oh, and don't sit up there acting like I'm holier than thou. I'm probably the most guilty one in the whole city. See, we too busy trying to befriend our children instead of parent our children, and we wonder why they're getting no better. When all they screaming is, please, y'all, I just give me some discipline. But you don't got time to discipline. Let's talk about it. Stop telling all your business too. Please stop telling your business. Because the only way a child got ADHD on their IEP. Because the school cannot diagnose ADHD. Believe me, I know that. A school cannot. That means you had to go tell them. Or you let them suggest it to you. And that's definitely not the right answer. Because if your teacher, if a child teacher can see something that you're not seeing at home, you got a problem. If your child teacher can see something at school that you don't see at home, that's a you problem. If your child can sit down at home, they can sit down at school. That ain't stopped. That's still going on to this day. But we also, now we're not indicting teachers now. Hey, the teacher play their role too. But us as parents, we got to step it up too. You would see the teacher they shouldn't be allowed to do that. See, if parents are constantly checking on their children and constantly getting running record, keeping a running record, I would literally keep a running record every time you call me. 8:45 Tuesday, May the 14th. Teacher called, said that baby act up in class. Because I promise you one thing, they keeping a running record. I can guarantee you they keeping one. Let's talk about it. So all we doing right now, man, this is the definition of each one, teach one. Ain't no way in the world I'm finna have no knowledge of anything. I ain't finna study nothing and not share it with my people. I'm not. I don't care who feelings it hurt. The truth is the light. If I start lying, then you can say something to me. But don't say nothing to me about telling the truth. Because the truth is all I know. The truth is all I got. We can do a lot better across the board, systematically. We can do a lot better across the board if we step our game up for our itty bitties. If we step our game up for our itty bitties, you can see a tremendous difference. If we start holding each other accountable, if we stop playing with our children, if we stop playing with the teachers, if we stop befriending the teachers, if we stop, a lot of times we need to keep the main thing, and the main thing is our itty bitties. But everything ain't the main thing. We got too many friends in these school systems that friends with these parents. At some point, it's a cutoff point. Because if you think these kids going over to university or whatever and think they finna go over there and mom and dad are friends, that just ain't happening that way. They need to start learning now. A lot of this stuff these teachers know about your kids because they know what you do. Because you putting it on your social media page. You talking to people that they cool with and you cool with and you even talking to them. And wonder why your children get stereotyped so fast. You telling them ain't no dad now. I don't care if you ain't working or going to the school. I got 3 jobs. You ain't finna be calling me all day. I be working. Because all they gonna do is push all them problems back on you. Y'all know I ain't lying. It's a hard conversation to have, but that's what the South got. Me for a fact, me ever coming up instead of finding out what wrong mentally, things would be a whole lot better. We were traumatized because the school system knew the foster people we came up with. Hey man, y'all got examples in the comment section. And I'm not doing here to bash nobody. And Jared, you know I've been knowing you since me and you both were knee-high to a duck. But we got to overcome this thing like you did. You had to overcome it. But why do we have to when we can go and get it right now? We got the whole summer break to start putting in and implementing the system on how my baby's how me and the school gonna communicate when it comes to my itty bitty. That's my goal for the summer. How am I gonna have a better communication with the school with my itty bitty? And if we do that, watch the tremendous change. Watch the change. And I'm literally telling you, the more we grab a stronger community involvement, the more we organize, the more somebody take leadership in this thing and say, hey, we're gonna have a strong PTO. We're gonna have a strong parent organization. We're gonna become more involved. We're gonna go to our kids' IEP meetings and see exactly how we can help at home. A lot of y'all need church to get these IEPs and they don't see you no more. Do y'all know this IEP is a legal binding document? Let's talk about it. What a show. Man, I know the feeling. I work with foster kids every day, man. That's what I do, man. And I know exactly you are not making up nothing you say. You're not making nothing up you say. So that's what. Start by going to your school open house and meet your baby teacher. Talk to the teachers. That's co-wise. Talk to the teacher. It definitely takes everyone, parent, teachers, administrator. That part, legal, binding document. Y'all hear me? It takes a village. That's the definition of each one, teach one. Man, if we organize, man, our school system can become the greatest school system in the world. We don't have to keep settling. And Lord knows we already got some good babies. We already got some scholars. We already got some teen scholars. Y'all don't know what we got over here. But now these little ones that coming up through the crack. So we gonna talk about this food they eat. Y'all wanna know where a lot of this stuff come from. Boy, if we had the time, we could talk about it. But that's a whole nother episode. These babies not eating properly. In my opinion, the teacher job isn't to raise our kids at school. Boy, you preaching. It's the teacher job to enforce the structure that we instill in our kids at home. We got all things that we can do and start solely at home first. That's it right there. Did y'all read that? Did y'all read that? And the one thing about it starting at home is you know what's going on in that school. It's gonna be hard to put a label on the child when mama what reading level? Okay, what the average reading level for the whole class? So you mean to tell me the average reading level is third grade and my baby on the third grade? So why we ain't got a whole lot of people standing out here? See, them the type of questions. What's the reading level for the district? So all sixth grade, the average reading level for the district is, so what my baby? All right? Yes. What a show. Man, we had a good show today, man. Like I said, man, knowledge is power, man. You can't hide that from us. We own y'all. We own it. We gonna turn every stone for our itty bitties. We ain't missing nothing when it comes to the itty bitties now. I hope y'all know that when we play, talking about Drake or whatever, when we talking about all that stuff, we just having fun. When it comes to the itty bitties, we'll turn every stone by our itty bitties. We gonna do something about our itty bitties. If we gotta get together collectively. If we gotta get together collectively, we gonna do something for our itty bitties. We gonna make sure they're put in the right position. We gonna hold each other. Teachers gotta hold these parents accountable, because they do. And parents, you gotta hold these teachers accountable, and the administrator gotta hold it all accountable. Heaven's the head that wear the crown. Holla at your boy. Membo, we had a show today. Let's get it. Let's go.